So for today's session, we are going to understand how we are using Selenium for automation. Basically, it's mostly about the automation testing. So we can say what a tester do. There are two categories for the testers. Either they can be a manual tester or they can start automating their processes and application to start to utilize their resources better way. So here we are going to elaborate about how the testing world is functioning. What are the tools that we are using as a testers? So for today's agenda, we have introduction. So what is the Selenium role in the automation and how to automate? It's simple. So today we are all going to cover up the basics, and for this class, it will be all the basic installation and the environment setup, all the prerequisites we needed. So for automation testing, it is important that we should understand why do we have to automate. Okay. So if you have given a scenario, you are a software quality assurance or SDET in a company, and you have joined a team of testers, and for your first task you have given a web application to test, and it has multiple thousands of input fields, and you have to provide your input data and test after every field how the web page is responding or how the form is performing. And then after providing thousands of input field, you will press submit button, and then you will try to check whether the form is properly getting submitted, or it is not throwing any error, or it is all the fields which are being entered have a proper data. We have to maintain the proper data integrity. In that case, what will happen? So for example, I have thousand of forms, and in those forms I have thousands of data entry fields. I'm providing data into it, and after providing data it took me 20 minutes, and then I click on submit. I got the issue of unexpected error, and what as a tester I'll do, I'll create a bug in any software tool like Jira and assign it to developer for a fix. And in this cycle, what developer will do, once he get the fix, he will provide with the new build with the fix for the issue that we have found, and ask us to test again. So as a tester, we have the same cycle going on again and again and again. As a tester, a resource, he will or he or she will devote their 20 minutes of time on a single form again and again to check whether it's working fine or not, or is there any existing issue, or do we need more testing, or we have any exploratory testing to be done. So in this case, when you perform submit button, and after every cycle of regression, a new build is given to you to test, what a tester should do in this scenario, it is most optimal to automate this scenario. For example, you are creating a full automation test suite where you are picking each and an element of the form and input field and providing data through the script and asserting the values, and then click on submit and then check whether it's properly submitting or it is going to assess successfully on the next page or not. So all these scenarios can easily be done on automation suite, and this can be repeated over a number of cycles of regression cycles. So, and you can test this multiple times, even in Sanity, for the basic regression suits, for the exploratory testing, and if you provide the reports of the automation suite to the your organization or the higher management saying that, see, we have performed these scenarios, basic scenarios, which has already been covered, and this is our time estimate. This will help us to reduce the resources time, because nobody wants to repeat same things again and again for a large amount of time. So it will be monotonous for the resources as well as for the teammates. So it's better to have things which are already pre-known, which has estimated that it might have the defect or it might cause an issue for the new build. So it's better to automate it. So here we are considering the tool Selenium for the automation. So there are many automation tools in the market, many. For example, Selenium, Catalan. We have other APM tools, APM for the mobile automation. So in this session, we are going to do automation using Selenium. As we know, Selenium is the API available for the automating web browsers, and we can do it over multiple browsers on multiple operating systems, as well as we can use any language to use a Selenium to write a Selenium script on the platform. For example, here in this session, we'll be starting to understand how we implement Selenium using Python. So Selenium has the basic and the most important thing, which is Selenium WebDriver. Here, I'll come to the Selenium WebDriver after we have completed all our installations and we have completed all our environment setup. So let's start with the environment setup. Is everybody with me right now? And let's go. To set up an environment, I'll show you what are the processes. So what are the things that we need for the environment setup? We have Python. Then we need a PyCharm IDE. Then within the PyCharm, we'll set up the Selenium using pip, and we'll start writing a code from there. Let's go. Has everybody already have Python installed in their system, or is there PyCharm in their system already, or should I start with the basics? Okay, let's start with the basics then. So now here, the first thing is that we need to go to this. That's great. For those who have not installed, I'll try to demonstrate the steps. It's very easy and it's hardly any issue for you to do that. That's great. So the link that I've provided will allow your system to download the Python. Python. And for the current version, the current version is 3.10.0, which is available, and we'll start doing that. Let's do it. If we go to this, If you have Windows system, you can use this link to download Python for yourself, and this is for Macs and this is for Linux. So here is the link. It's an easy process. When you click on download, you will get the exe file, and opening the exe file, you'll get the steps. It's better to set up the checkbox which says it will set up the environmental path for the Python. So while doing that, you'll have the option to do that while setup. So please click on that checkbox before you move forward to the installation, final installation. And once you've done every installation, you have to check your environmental variables, that the path has the Python script. Let me see it. See, I have already Python script as a variable added, and this Python. So these two paths should be available in your system as a Python, as a path in your environmental variable. It is important to do that. And once it is done, it will be easy for you to proceed with the next step. For the next step, it is is a download of a PyCharm. Here we can download the PyCharm. So yep, PyCharm is the same JetBrains.com product, and it has two versions to it, professional and community. It's better to go for the community one, since professional is on the free trial version. It will expire soon. For you to learn the things, community is better option, and it's good in long-term process. So when you click on this download, you will have the same option to perform. For example, you'll get the exe file, click on the exe file, and then run the file, and then go next, and you will be able to easily install. It's an easy process. You don't have to do anything here. Let me know if everybody is doing, and if anybody is stuck while performing these steps. I'll try to help them with them. And once you've done this, you have the option to open up PyCharm easily. So if I show, I have already PyCharm in my system. Available. Yep. So once you install PyCharm, you'll get something like this interface. And it is easy for you to manipulate all your scripts here using PyCharm, because in Python you can do both the ways. Either you can go by console, or you can use IDE. And using IDE is better to manage your test scripts. Now we'll go to here, and we click on new project. So everybody is with me right now. That's great. So let's create a new project. For example, when you create a new project, all you have to do is go to File, and then click on New Project, and you'll get this pop-up window. Here, all you have to do is provide this is the location name, and you have to provide the the project that you're trying to create. For example, I'm trying to create this Selenium. Selenium demo. So here it is important that we are setting up this at the virtual environment. We have all the options like PIM, Conda, but we are performing everything on the virtual environment. So we'll be using this and make sure that the base interpreter is correct. In this situation, when your system does not have the proper Python installed or not the updated version of the Python installed, you'll get some issue here in this base interpreter text box. It will say that select the proper Python interpreter, or take us to the proper interpreter. And make sure you enter the path where your current Python is installed, and then it will be ready to go. It won't show any error or anything. And once it is done, we don't need to change anything. We'll just see create. And it's the basic. I'll open in this window only. It will take some time to do that, but it will be done within a short period of time. So from here, I hope everybody has this setup done till the project. Great. Let me know if you are getting any issue or if you are facing any problem while doing it. We'll proceed with the next step. So this step is important because here, as you see, we have all the external libraries in this folder, external libraries, and then we can go to site package. Basically, when we are using the Selenium, all these Selenium files or libraries that is associated with Selenium, like web drivers, everything will be available into this site packages. And to do that, and to say that, okay, fine, we need a Selenium, we need this process to be done like this. We need to go to project. Here is our project title. Right click on it and then open it in terminal. Once you open it in terminal, here we have option to perform a basic function so that we can add our Selenium libraries into our external files. And to perform that, we have a basic pip command that we need to do. And to add that dependency, I'll show you the command. It is pip space dash install pip and then pip install Selenium here. And when you click on this, when you perform this, the Selenium library will be added into your system or to the project. See, installing collection package. Here it is installing all the libraries, all the packages that is required. So if you see this message, here, yep, Selenium 4.0 has been installed. Everybody is up to the point here. So pip is something like pip is here we are using this command. It is something like we are using npm for JavaScript or these. This is the command line which we can easily install anything here. And for Java, we know how to use it, Maven, or to install all the libraries and to keep the updated libraries into the external files. So that way we can do this in PIM. Now, if you go here, so after we have installed pip, we'll go to the Python package on the project. Here we can go to the project, right click in Python file. No, before file, sorry. Before file, we'll we'll create a Python package. So it is important to create package, because if you go on creating scripts in unmanaged way, it will be difficult for us to reuse these scripts. It's better to create a package so that it is easier for us to import it for the another script. So here we are creating a package. We'll use the name WebDriver session. So here you can see within the project we have the package, and it has the init file which are .py. Now the last step is we have to create package file. Python file. Here I'll be saying web driver cross browser. Okay. And I'll select the Python file. Here. Is everybody up to the point? So why we are using Selenium here? Selenium is the tool we can easily use to automate our front end. We can also integrate our testing. For example, we have some microservices or APIs to check. So we'll be writing scripts in Python to validate all those APIs, all the values in the APIs, and then along with that, we can automate the web browser to check whether it is responding with the correct data on web browser. All the data that is being populated on web browser is correct, and assert those values using PyTest. Create the test report using PyTest. So this session is basically the first session where I'm just trying to explain the basic setup of Selenium using Python. When we go further, I'll try to demonstrate how to handle basic web browser functionality. For example, pop-ups, drop down, how to handle the iframes and inputs like data fields, date entry fields, and how in implicit wait and explicit wait is performed here on the web browser. And it is important. Sometimes it is said that it is not good option to provide wait time to the browser, but when it comes to testing, there are two type of testing that testers should demonstrate. One is the user. So when we try to automate the test scripts, it should be a user behavior. Whenever a user try to click on button or whenever he tries to input, he takes his time. The time taken by them should be commanded here in the script also. For example, I am entering my Gmail account. I'll enter my Gmail account email address. For me, it will take some time. It will take 5 seconds or 10 seconds, depending upon the user. So web browser should be adjusted as per the user need. This is one of the one aspect of the automation testing, and the other aspect of the automation testing is to check whether all the links are working fine, all the text fields are properly displayed, all the data entries are done. So in that case, we don't need that much of wait, because it will slow down the script execution, and for that it will take a lot of time. And to do that, to avoid that, we usually use the WebDriver without script in the for example, I'm using a Gecko driver or a Ghost driver. Ghost driver is some driver which won't be it won't be displayed on the screen that it is being executed, or it won't show how to human eye that how the script is executing. It will be done at the back end, and those processes are very fast. And to the aim of those scripts are to check whether the links are working fine, buttons are working fine, everything is giving proper 200 success message instead of going to any error page or 404 or server ending page. For example, when we try to enter, for example, if a user is not doing anything, he's just trying to scroll, and he accidentally clicked on submit button, and from submit button it should not go to the next page until unless his forms are properly filled. So in that case, we need to make sure that all the scenarios are covered using the scripts. So I have one question. Yep. So we have already completed the pip installation. So after pip installation, all we have to do is go to project. So this is the, I'll show you this way. Yep. So this is the root location where the project is, and then we can right click on it and click on new. Then we can add Python package. Here you can provide any name that you want to give it to your package, and then click on enter. After doing that, I have created WebDriver session package here. Similarly, I'll do the same functionality. Right click, new Python file. I'm doing this because I'm creating an independent package so that I can reuse it for the further. And this is important because when we go in further sessions, for example, we are trying to demonstrate PyTest, or we are using a page object model framework. So there, these small packages will be helpful because the functionality, the script within these package can easily be exported to the another Python file, and we can easily use the functionality. We don't have to rewrite the script again. So these things are very important when we are using PyTest, because PyTest has a different levels of testing. For example, we'll start with the setting up of the environment, where the basic functionalities: go to the browser, open the URL, find the how can I say, title or the web element. After performing these functions, we have the following steps. So that way we can integrate those scripts. Now we can click on Python file and enter any name, and then click enter. For example, I have created this WebDriver cross browser, and it will be in the .py format. It has to be in .py format so that for us it will be easy to go to run WebDriver cross browser file. It will be easy for us to do that. Okay. So now we'll try to we'll try to demonstrate how we are using Selenium to the basic. Okay. The first step is like, since we know that we have installed Selenium here in the external files, you can see all the packages, side packages, and to cross check, we will try to find our Selenium package that here. So we have our Selenium package in the external library. Great. Now from here, we'll say from Selenium. See, the use of ID is it will give the hints and everything while we try to write the. And from here, we'll say import. We'll enter WebDriver. First, we'll go with the WebDriver. So, see, when we do that, we have this in gray. This means that we are currently not using anything. Now, let's create a driver. Driver equals to WebDriver. Now, as you can see, from selenium.webdriver, we got our Chrome WebDriver package. And this method we can easily use from here. Great. Now we have created our WebDriver, initiated it. Now we'll do that. So here, this means that driver is pointing towards the WebDriver.chrome that we have created. Now to do the next step, we'll go to the driver dot get. Oh, sorry. So what get method does, it will take our driver or a web driver to this location or this URL. So it is important to provide proper and full URL because sometimes it's mandatory to have HTTPS or HTTP. The protocols are important when we are trying to navigate. Sometimes it throws error if the protocol is not properly been added here. And now we'll say that print driver dot title. And here we'll say, let's see. Now we have created this. We'll try to run this thing. See. When we ran this thing, we had issue. Okay. So wait. So here it is, yep. So as you can see here, when we try to initialize a driver with WebDriver.chrome, it is expected to have an executable path. And that executable path we have still not provided here. We are expected, this method was expected to have an executable path. So to do that, it is important for us to download an external driver for the Chrome. Since we are already using Chrome, it will be easy for us to know which driver we are, which Chrome version we are using. For example, go to web, I'll share again. So when you go to this, your Chrome, you go to help and you'll check. Yep, you'll check your version here. Once you check your version here, you have to go to the site. Here's the link. You can go, and on this site you have to explicitly install these Chrome driver because for us, when the script tries to check here, I can. When if you say this thing, when script tries to initiate and execute this, it says, okay, fine, I have created a driver and I have picked up the webdriver.chrome, and here it is saying I need a path. Where is the path so that I can pick the driver from? And the current Google web browser that we have installed is not the alternative for the driver. So we need to explicitly get the driver from the path that we are going to mention here. And to do that, we'll do this thing. Go to the Chrome driver, web driver for Chrome. Here we can download our version as it is suited with your Chrome extension. You can download here. And so to use this, the Chrome driver, we are using this Chrome driver, chromium.org, this site. And if we need to run the test scripts on the Firefox, we will go to the Gecko driver for Firefox. Yep. Okay. So yep. So here Firefox. Yes, this is the link. So here we can get all our Gecko drivers for the Firefox, all the versions of and any operating system we need to use. And it is done in the same way as we do it in the Chrome. When you download this, you'll have the file in a zip format. For example, when you try to do this, okay, fine, I have downloaded this. I'll go for the Windows 32 and then click on zip. Here you can see I have already let me share. So here you can see I have already zip file for the Chrome driver. All I need to do is unzip it, and when you unzip it, you will have the exe file into it. And the exe file. All you need to do is get this path, copy from here, and go to your PyCharm. And here you will be writing executable path equals to this thing. And then we'll provide Chrome driver.exe. So if you're using a Windows, it is mandatory for us to have this double slash in our path like this. And now if I try to run this thing, let's see. See, I'm able to download, I'm able to get this Google driver window open. So basically, this is the driver that is responding to our script. And as we follow, it will try to navigate as it is mentioned in the script. And we have done this print.driver.title. It will give us this title here. Everybody is till the point here? Anybody is finding any issue? That's great. Let me know if you have any issue. Now, if I see my console, it says this yep. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. So as we see, we are getting this error message or the warning. It says executable path has been deprecated for our this version of Python. So to do the to avoid this thing, we will do some mitigation process. For example, we'll try to we'll try to have the session here to execute this thing. I'll say a session. I'll create a session object here equals to session. So here when I am trying to use session, it is asking me to create a package. Okay, fine. For the will provide this executable path that we have mentioned here into our service. Since it is showing that it is deprecated, we need to add our path into the service. I will try to import the file once again. Here. Just a minute. I need the correct path. So to perform that, so here we know that our Python was giving an error saying that it is deprecated. To avoid the scenario, what we did is we went to import the Selenium WebDriver. I hope I'm able to share. Okay, yep. So to do that, what I have done, I have imported the from selenium.webdriver.chrome.service import service. So from this, what I try to do is that the executable path that was mentioned here in the Chrome driver, this line 6, is now it is in provided service, because service is a method that will ask for the executable path explicitly. It will we don't have to say that okay fine, we have it is a new field or new input field for that. It will ask us for the executable path for the Chrome driver, and it has to be provided here. And I have initiated with the subject, and in the Chrome I'll do this service equals to service object. That's it. And then I'll try to execute this, and I hope I won't get the okay. Wait. I'm so sorry. Yes. So I found the issue saying that the interpreter cannot able to find the service, because it was my issue that I have entered capital S while providing the service object. Now I'll try to execute. I've changed it to lowercase, and then I'll try to execute it. Yep, and it is able to do it. And without any error message, we have any warning, we don't have anything. It's all clear. Yep. Now you have seen that we are able to get the title and we are able to open the driver. And for us, it is important to quit the instance of driver that we have created. To do that is driver.quit. And if I run this, if you wrote and quit. So here you can see that it was super fast and it didn't take any much execution time. So here, when we are trying to execute the script, it is as per the script execution step, where we don't have to check why user is taking so much time, or what a web browser should behave when the user is taking this much time. So in this scenario, we'll try to minimize the execution time and try to execute and check whether all the links are working, data is proper, no error message, no 404, and no dead end, and no broken link are available. So in this case, we will try to keep the time as minimum as possible. Now let's do some input here. We got the title. Let me. Is everybody up to the point that we have reached? We are almost done with it. All our basic steps are already covered. All we need to do is start writing a script. So I'll show you. So since we have a little time left, I'll try to show you the script that I have currently executed. So here, this is a screen. So this script that I have executed, if I try to explain what it is, from the starting, we are trying to import all the Selenium WebDriver libraries that we have, then we are going with the service because we know that the executable path was deprecated. So here we have imported the service, which was the part of the library, the Selenium WebDriver Chrome library. And now we have imported time. When we imported time, this means that whenever I'll do perform time.sleep.time, anything related to time, it will use this library. And after that, the main important thing, once you open the browser, it is important for us to navigate from one part of the page to another part of the page. To do that, we'll try to figure out the elements. And to do that, we'll do driver.findElement. And this is the type of locators, element locators. It can be by name, CSS selector, by ID, by there are various methods. See, if I do this and do this here, see, I have name, CSS selector, ID, XPath, class name, links, partial link text, tags, text. Even if we can try to figure out by using text. So when I run the script, see, it will be like I've opened the driver, enter Selenium. It will give me the options what are available. I'll try to select and then I go to booking.com. And here I'm going to booking.com. I have tried to demonstrate what is that. See, when I ran the script, it says, okay, driver.get, it went to google.com. It took its title, driver.title, we got the title. And from there, driver.findElement by name, we found the key, this variable, the name associated with the search box. We provided this send key option is for sending the user input into the field. So without quit, if I do this, okay, if here, if I try to inspect it, this field, input field, everybody know how to read the DOM here. And from here, we'll try to figure out what is the input we are trying to use it. So if we are on this term, when we did inspect element, inside this, and if we do Control F, since I have already used the name, see, here it is what I'll try to show. Input dot, no. I'll try to show how did I find. Okay. So when you do Control F on your inspect element, while doing inspect element on the console, here you'll be able to get this input field. Here you can provide anything. We can provide string, selector, XPath. When we are trying to figure out XPath, there are two ways to do that. One is relative way and one is absolute way. When we do it using absolute way, we have to use it starting from the root node, and that can be done as like this. Copy this XPath. And if I paste it here, you can see it starts from the HTML body div and everything. But in nowadays scenarios, it is much more easier to do it relative way because whenever anybody comes up with a new build, with a new feature added into this web page or this browser or this google.com. So for example, they have few doodles or few more input field. So this DOM structure will be changed. So the absolute part will be tough to navigate again, because all these steps or the tree nodes or the nodes, it will be different. So it will throw us the error. In this case, maintenance will be much more for us. So in that case, we'll try to use the relative way. So for finding that relative way, one is the finding XPath, or we can go by the name. Here in the script, we are going by the name. For example, we went driver.findElement by .name q and .send keys. And then this is the field that we are entering. This is the name that we found here. You can see input class is there and it has name q. So we are providing them. Similarly, when we go for the, for example, I have written Selenium. All the list I'm getting here. So to locate that, I have used a selector, CSS selector, and I can control it. Not there, sorry, here. And see, I found 10 results. And all these results that I'm trying to find is available in this on the console. And after finding, what I'm trying to do is I got the length of the list that I got it from the browser, and from that I try to create one loop, and in this loop I did this thing for element.text. For example, I'm getting any text, I'm on this thing, Selenium sulfide on this element, and it will say, okay, if it is equal to Selenium Chrome driver, it will go inside if condition and then click and then break. But it is not going into the because it is not satisfying the condition. It will keep on repeating the loop till we get this text. And here I try to demonstrate that it's easy if you're not quitting the browser anytime, at any moment. If we do that driver.get and provide any URL, it will take us to the URL mentioned. It is not necessary that we need to initiate another driver and then find the URL, and then it will create an instance of another driver and then open the URL. It is not. We can do it in same driver itself before quitting. So everybody are up to the point? Is anybody having any issue here? Any questions for me so that I can explain it here? Okay. So I've already mentioned, I guess we are up to the time, and I also wanted to show you some demonstration about the Catalan. Since when we say we are using automation, using Catalan is also one of the options, because it's easy for us when if any person is not that much tech savvy, but he needs or they needs to perform a automation. Catalan is also an option to do that. Oh, so so here, this is not the GitHub session. I'll show you this thing. When we try to execute, if I'm not wrong, you were asking about this service, correct? Okay. So I didn't get the question about the GitHub session.
Ma'am, actually, I was asking that on the Insta page, there was like GitHub session also mentioned, which was few days ago, but I missed it. So I was just asking that, is it going to be repeated?
Yep, all those recordings are available for anybody who's registered on the YouTube. So the session that you have missed on for the GitHub is available on the YouTube. If you go to YouTube channel for us for the GDSC, and there you can able to find all the sessions, everything about the GitHub. Great. So that is for the session. If anybody has any issue, I wanted to explain more into the scripts, more into the execution of the drivers. Since we are short of the time, we'll try to we'll try to come up with the new chapters where we are trying to integrate many scenarios like PyTest, page object model, and integrating all your test scripts on the Jenkins and creating a chatbot, or creating a bot to crawl over your site and get the cheapest deal. Everything we can do using the Selenium. We'll try to cover up every session, this in every chapter. That's it from my side. Hope you understand and get to know what I'm trying to explain here. And it's very easy. If you are getting into it, it is very easy to understand and start creating your own scripts. Thank you. I'll be stopping there.